There you go, I've restarted it. Yeah. Okay, we'll have to leave it for now because the race is about to start. Keep put your input in though, mate, because it might pick you up whilst I'm sorting it during the race. All right, beautiful. Right then, sorry about that, guys. So on pole position, we've got Tom Inferno. Dan is in second. Tom, the only person on Inters. That was a good call from him, to be fair. We've got Alfie in fourth. Frank in fourth. Wavy in fifth. Sniper in sixth. Kronos in seventh. Davies in eighth. Piercy in ninth. Stefan in 10th. Midman in 11th. And Matt Dixon in 12th. So currently, the pole sitter, Tom Inferno, is the championship leader in season 4, and Dan is only, I think, 9 points behind him now. The battle between them has been really, really close lately. We had a difficult start to the season with Dan, and then he pulled it back. And the same goes with Tom. He was struggling, and he was 50 points behind Dan, or Hobgoblin, sorry, and has pulled back those points. So has put in a valiant effort. To really rake back the championship, and now he's at a point where he's leading the championship and could quite possibly win, which is something he's really looking to do with the kind of progress he's had in the league. So, and hopefully, if things go Dan's way, he's looking to get his second title, which would be really great to see. We haven't got a championship winner yet, so it'll be great to see someone get more than one, and properly say that they're a championship winner. Right then, the lights are out. All the lights are out and the drivers are off. So Tom Inferno then gets a brilliant start in the wet, and I think if we quickly get the tyres up, they should all be running the same tyres. Yeah, there we go. Everyone's on full wets then. Tom Inferno taking the lead straight away, and Dan just behind him. Oh, we've already had a spinner there. Who's that? And that's Matt Dixon already. That's Matt behind. Yeah, Wavy's had a spin as well. And we've got Kronos Grand lagging behind. So, Tom Inferno then leading the pack, and Dan just behind him. Alfie in third position there. That's really good from him. I haven't really seen Alfie in podium positions before. And we've got Sniper then following closely behind Alfie. Midgeman has just dropped back a small bit, but he's still there. He's following the pack. And we'll just keep an eye on him. Midgeman, someone who has improved a lot through this league in season 4, someone who has really been improving on his skills, and finally he's been moving up the field, and we've seen him battling for podium positions now lately. Stefan then in his golden white car there, keeping Frank behind him. Jake, who we've seen a lot of the time, doing really well in the championship so far, is battling in his what is that? It looks like an Aston Martin car there. Or a turquoise car, yeah. Oh, we've got a spinner there. Who's that? That's Piercy, unfortunately. Struggling in the wet there, Piercy. I know that he's on running no traction. He's on a wheel, so it can be really difficult around this track. Kronos Grand then coming round. Another driver that's improved a lot in his McLaren livery there. He's done really well in the championship, and he's fighting through the field. Back at the top then, Tom Inferno leading the way with only 8 tenths though, so Dan's right behind him there. He's going to try and catch him. A really cool livery there from Dan, looking really awesome. So these two have been together a lot during the season. These two have been back and forth. They've been fighting for first in the championship, and they've pulled away from the likes of Nameless and Climber. So these guys in Abu Dhabi next weekend are going to be right on it, and they're going to be trying to put out all the stops to get the championship, as there's only 9 points between them. The things like the fastest lap and pole position are really going to have to come into account for these guys. Alfie then sticking clear. He's pulling away really slightly from Sniper, although he is pulling back now. Only by a couple of tenths, though. Sniper's one of those drivers who came in, I think, at the start of Season 4. And he's done really well to try and stick to his consistency. He was someone that we saw struggled, just like me. I was struggling a lot with consistency. Even though you can have pace in the game, the one thing you need is to be consistent throughout the races that we do. 50% races, even though it's half of a full length, they can be quite long. So you can have all the pace in one lap, but you really need that consistency to stay on and get those points. Wave Your Minds then, out of the race, unfortunately. I can't see where we've crashed. Looks like he's just crashed before Sector 3. That's unfortunate, Wavy. Tom Inferno then setting the fastest lap, a 1:28.7. Looks like he's pushing a small bit as Dan's got more ERS, but Dan, once again, he's really good at managing his ERS and will use it right to the last minute there. Yeah, mate. Oh, and Frank there, he's had a spin. Is he out? Yeah, he's out, unfortunately. That's bad from Frank. Someone who can... That's massive. Someone who's really competitive as well. That's really unfortunate to see. I think he was battling Stefan there for 6th place. That's unfortunate. So what are your predictions, mate? So the championship is 7 races. And all the points will accumulate. And the champion the champion doesn't get a trophy or anything, but he gets bragging rights. And in UGL... everyone wants bragging rights. So, yeah, that is it. Everyone wants bragging rights in this league. We have to back Tom Inferno, don't we? I have to, otherwise I'll get in trouble. Well, there we go. James' prediction, and unfortunately I don't think you can hear him, but we are sorting it. His prediction is Tom Inferno to win the 5-lapper championship. And you know what? I will agree with you, but Dan is incredibly good in the wet, so you never know, he could pull it back. And Dan is someone... He is. He's a fighter. He's someone that, if he's in your wing mirror, I'm like, oh crap, I've got to worry now. And even, you know, even if he's 5 seconds behind you, you're still going to have to worry, do you know what I mean? So... and we've seen it before where Dan's pulled it back. Exactly. Yeah. Okay. So 50-50 then. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. I mean, we forget to mention that they're racing on some of the hardest tracks in the calendar for the 5-lapper championship. And especially, like I said, Imola is difficult in the dry, never mind the wet. So these guys are properly they're going to be facing some difficult conditions right now. And what we don't see is actually the spray that the drivers experience. So like, I'm on board with Sniper here, and it's, you know, we can't see the spray, but the spray that he's getting now is going to be horrible. And also the only thing they've got is ERS at the end of the day. They've got no DRS. They've got to try and, you know, it's all about skill at this point. They've got no DRS to help them. You know, there's no traction really, and it's all about what tyre you're going to select and how you're going to warm up the tyres and how you're going to manage everything. So if you really want to see who's, you know, the proper, you know, drivers in this league, it's the guys that are doing well in the wet. And don't get me wrong, it's always so close, so everyone is absolutely brilliant in the wet. So there's no really telling. Yeah. 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 And there we go then, so that's the end of round 1 in the 5-lapper championship. Tom Inferno took the win there, doing a really good job to hold off Dan. But once again, Dan, damage limitation, I guess, he's holding second. And I think that was Alfie in third there, so great job from Alfie. I don't think I've actually seen him on the podium before, so it's great to see him up there. Stefan finishes in 5th, Davis finishes in 6th, Midgeman in 7th, Kronos in 8th, Piercy in 9th, Frank in 10th, Wavy Minds in 11th, and UGL Datmixon in 12th. And I think, unfortunately, Matt got disqualified from the session there. Tom Inferno grabs the fastest lap then, and it looks like, I want to try and see who got the most overtakes. I think it was, so Stefan started from 10th and got up to 5th, so that's a great effort for him. Midgeman 11th to 7th. So yeah, it's actually all round quite a good job from the guys there. Sniper getting 4th, that's great for him. Like I said, he's been doing really well in the league, and 4th is a brilliant effort from him. Yeah. So there's the standings, guys. So this is what we're going to work off of for the rest of the 5-lapper championship. So as we said, the champion gets decided tonight, and then can carry that title through to season 5. And once again, gets the most important thing, which is bragging rights at the end of the day. And don't get me wrong, Tom with bragging rights is an issue, so we need to stop that. And even though he is my teammate, but we'll soon see what happens. So the next race, then, I'm just going to have a quick look. All the drivers are actually unsure of the calendar, and it was kept anonymous for them. I'm just going to double check and see what we're moving on to next. So the next race is Belgium. A favourite track for the league, a favourite track for these drivers as well. They absolutely love it. So the weather, we're not sure what it's going to be like. As you can see there, the question mark on the cloud. So these guys I was speaking to them before, and they were a bit nervous about all the different tracks, and Belgium did come up, and someone called out, "Oh, well, let's do a wet Belgium." So yeah, we're going to find out, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure we'll hear it in the chat if they see rain at Belgium. So, but we'll be back in 30 seconds, guys, for the Belgium Grand Prix round 2. Whilst we're waiting, Jamie, mate, let's see if we can sort your mic, because it sounds like I'm having half a conversation. Not a clue. It's not a problem. I'll just have to make sure that I'm keeping on it. It sounds like I'm talking to a ghost. I sound like a crazy person. So, hello, mate. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's alright. I'll be alright, mate. Just make sure you're spotting stuff for me so I don't miss it. Because it's so like with commentating, it's so easy to. Well, it's not easy. It's really difficult to commentate because it's what you put on the spot and everyone's listening to you. Yeah, but with like a 50% race, you've got like 30 laps to chill. Do you know what I mean? You do the start and you get the end, but in between you're like, right, let me actually like chill, look back, see what's happening. Whereas 5-lappers, it's going on all the time, so you can't stop. So someone's getting an overtake, and then someone's actually winning the bloody race. So it's like, oh, it's crossed the line, oh, but I'm getting an overtake. So, right then, I'm gonna get the Twitch stream up on my iPad so I can actually see what people are saying. They're probably slewing me for my commentating skills, to be honest. Okay then, guys. One shot quali then. So, the rules for the five lapper championship, the guys only get one lap to complete a qualifying lap. Meaning that they don't get to warm up their tyres, they don't get to prepare for the lap, they're just thrown in the deep end. And like we said, it's raining around Belgium, so we're all going to get a bit of stick here. But so yeah, the guys only get one lap to set their qualifying time for the grid, and it looks like Tom Inferno is currently on for pole. But if we have a look at the telemetry, we should be able to see who's where. It's quite difficult to tell between, but it looks like Alfie is going for second right now. Stefan and Alfie are battling for the second position right now. We can't see the times that they're setting, and we can't see what time they're going for, what sector times they're setting, but we should be able to find out once pole position is set. So Jake and Dan there, Davies and Hobgoblin, battling for 4th and 5th at the moment. As you can see, they're jumping, and Jake is actually improving in the middle sector now. PSC and Matt Dixon are going around and just finishing in the first sector as well. And you can see the amount of people that are DNFing here. Frank, Sniper, Kronos and Wavy have all DNF'd in the first sector. That's how difficult Belgium is. And you got to think, Belgium, Sector 1, Rouge, it's the hardest, one of the hardest corners in the UGL calendar. And they're getting it straight away without any practice on a wet track. So the whole entire combo is really difficult. So Alfie there is actually on the top spot, so he's going for pole right now. He's doing really well, but he's currently battling with Tom here, so it's going to be really close to see who gets pole position. Let's have a look. So it's all, like I said, yeah mate, it's all about braking here. You can get away with it at the end of the lap. Oh, who's going to get it? Hey, it's Tom Inferno. Tom Inferno gets pole position there, 1:59.6. Really good effort from Tom. Alfie gets second. Davies gets third, great effort from him, and Piercy, Andrew, gets fourth with a 2:03. Stefan a 2:11, and I didn't see Dan's time, but he got sixth there. So a great effort from the guys, the people that just survived. You know, you want to survive around Belgium, never mind set a lap, so getting pole position there is a great effort. There we go, then there's the final grid order. Tom Inferno, Alfie, Davies, Piercy, Stefan, Hobgoblin, Matt Dixon, Midgeman, Frank, Sniper, Kronos and Wavy. And only 6 people finished that qualifying there, as you can see. It's really difficult to qualify around Belgium, never mind getting rain on top of it. So the guys that have finished did really well to keep on track. The tracks that we've got tonight, I'll just quickly read them out. So we've done Imola, we're at Belgium, Austria is the next track, Kota is after Austria, and then we've got Britain, Miami and China. So we've got a really good selection of tracks there, and most of them are really really big favourites of the drivers, and where we've seen most of the competitive driving. So we're moving on then to the race. I'm not too sure what the weather's going to be like. Oh, it's raining. It could have been dry, but they're not getting it today. They're not getting the easy way out. So Belgium then, it's a really difficult track. I would say sector 1 is the most difficult sector of the track. Turn 1 is really difficult for the start. It's really tight. I think it's about I can't remember what you call it, but it's an acute right-hander. So it's always going to be difficult for the guys, even when it isn't raining. And then you've got to go straight up to a Rouge, which is what these guys have to try and manage. It's getting past each other in turn 1 and then trying to get up a Rouge safely, which we're about to see. Just waiting on a couple of drivers to ready up and then we'll get going. Here we are then, guys. The red lights are coming on. It's 5 lights and it's lights out and away we go. So Tom Inferno then gets a decent start once again, and we've got Alfie just behind him, and it looks like Davis has taken second there. Oh no, he's break. There we go. So like I said, guys, you need to safely get around turn 1. Alfie coming off the track a small bit, but he's recovering well. And Davis then taking second place, and this is the difficult part, guys. This is where we have to be really careful. Tom Inferno leading the pack up to a Rouge, and you can see how much he's lifting there just to try and keep the car on track. And Dave's then following up behind Tom Inferno with Alfie in third. And I think we've already got a spinner. And here we go, guys. So Piercy's going for the move, or Stefan, sorry, is going for the move. Can he make it stick? Oh, he does. Oh, and he spun it. He's made a mistake there. He's good to avoid that, though. Alfie's done well to avoid that collision. Piercy then moving up to 4th because of that collision, and Midgman up to 5th. These guys are going to be really, really close now. And one thing that these guys have got is really good drive and a really good way of battling. These guys know how to battle in difficult situations, especially when it comes to around. Oh, these are really struggling. Look at these guys. Matt Dixon then trying his best. With Matt, he's the owner of the league, so he doesn't get a lot of time to race with us, but sometimes he can have a really good race and he can prove how much of a good driver he is. And unfortunately there, Frank and Stefan have retired from the session. Tom Inferno then leading the pack, doing a really good job. This guy is always one for putting on a good show, and he absolutely loves racing with the guys, and it's great to see him improving. He joined in 2021 as a Williams driver in Season 2, and since then he's been upping his skills, and now with the experience he's got and what he's learned from his teammates, his teammate, previously being the champion of UGL, his training has been really good, and now he's proven how much he's learned. Alfie then following up behind Tom with 1.5 seconds behind. So we saw this in the last race. We might be able to see Alfie pull up, we might see Tom pull away. It's all about consistency, like we said. And there we go, we've got Midge trying to make a move then on Piercy. But Piercy is defending really well, and he's just pushed him wide. That's good defending from Piercy. It looked rough, but if it's a 5-lapper, you have to be rough in this situation. And Davies going for a move on Midgeman now. That's a really good effort for him. Can you make it stick? Oh, he's tapped Piercy, but he's given the position back. That's really good from those guys. And Sniper then following up behind. He's just had a small battle with tech support there, and he's made it stick, and he's up into 6th. Davies then coming up to 4th Upper Rouge. He's going to make it stick. And Midgeman, is he going to try and make a move through? He has. He needs to be really careful here. The wet weather, in these conditions, trying to make these moves after Rouge is really dangerous. So these guys are being really careful, but they've only got 5 laps to make these moves stick, and they've got to get past him. As Midgeman dives down the inside. Oh, and he gets tapped. That's really difficult to hold that there, Midge, but you've done well to keep it. Davies being really, really aggressive with the defensive moves, but he's doing really well to keep him behind at the moment. And I guess you can see him quite clearly with a bright yellow car there. Midgeman then diving down the inside again. He's trying to make it stick, and you can hear how feathery he's being with the throttle there, just trying to keep the car on track. These guys need to remember that, yes, they want to make a move and they need to push and they need to use their acceleration to a key, but they also need to remember they're on rain at the end of the day, and if they feather that throttle even a tiny bit, they could send the car flying. So these guys are being really careful right now. Piercy then, the middleman, he's got Midgeman behind him, but he's got some really good pace there, and he's just keeping a couple lengths in front of him to try and keep that 3rd place position. Tom Inferno then leading away, and it looks like he's pulling away from the pack now. Tom's really good at doing his solo drive, but in a battle, it's great to see. He can be really good in the battle, as can everyone else here. A lot of times you can see the drivers in their own race and chilling, but when they're all together and battling, it's really, really good. A couple races that we had ago, like France and Kota, the battling was insane, and like Matt said at the start of the stream, the field has just improved immensely, and the guys are only seconds between each other now. Tenths between each other now, and there's only like a second between the field. So these guys have done really well to improve their racing, and it's great to watch. So the field is kind of split up right now, but they are still, they're all closing up on each other again. It's that midway of the race now. They're all getting comfortable. Even though it's 2 laps, these guys don't take long to get comfortable through the track. And you could say that it might take another lap to get comfortable with the rain, but these guys are slowly and steadily coming back up to each other now, and they're going to have some brilliant racing near the latter stages of the race. So the top 3 then. Top 3, Tom Inferno and Alfie and Piercy. It looks like the championship battle for the 5-lappers might be between Tom and Alfie, but it's only the 2nd race, so we can't count anyone out right now. Someone like Kronos or Tech Support could still do really, really well here with the amount of races we've got. Piercy then in 3rd. It's great to see him up in the podium positions. Another driver that's improved a lot since he's joined the league. He joined as my teammate actually in Haas in Season 2, on the latter stages of Season 2, and the immense improvement he made through Season 3 was great to see, and now in Season 4 he's a really competitive driver when he's on track, and we look forward to see what he does in Season 5. Midgeman then, he is now steadily coming up on Piercy. You can see there he's dropped under a second now. Doesn't mean he gets DRS though. With the weather conditions we've got, all they've got is their ERS. So it's all about saving the ERS, and which you can see there, Andrew is saving all of his ERS for the latter stages of the race, which he's slowly coming up to now. So you can see there, Midgeman is only on 20%, so he really needs to save that ERS if he wants to stay, if he wants to try and get by him. Davies then, he's got Sniper for company. These two, once again, really good drivers, and it looks like Gary has saved his ERS. Oh no, and so has Jake. So these two are going to have quite a close battle, it seems, at the latter stages of the race, as Tom Inferno sets the fastest lap of the race. Not very quick though, as it's in the rain, but it's still the fastest. I'm actually not too sure if you get a point for fastest laps in the 5-lap championship, but we'll soon see. At the end of the day, it all adds up. If someone, Steph, could you check that for me, mate, and DM me and tell me if they get a point for for fastest lap in the 5-lap championship, please, mate. There we go, then Midgeman heading up a Rouge. You can see there he's trying to feather that throttle just to keep the car on track. You can see his rear end is sliding all over the place. These guys will be really struggling. And if you're not familiar with the league's rules and assists, these guys don't get full traction. They get a minimum of medium traction control, which can still be really difficult to manage. So these guys are working really hard to try and keep these cars on track. And so far, they've actually done really well. 11 cars are still in it, so it's great to see. Unfortunately, Dan is at the back there. Matt just letting him by there, as Dan is a quicker driver, as you can see. Dan, like I said, fighting for the championship, so he's not new to this kind of stuff. He's experienced in this field. Oh, I think that was a glitch in the game. Yeah, it was. So yeah, Dan is really experienced in this field here, so he knows what he's doing. It looks like he's just trying to do a recovery race here. But like we said, we've seen in many cases drivers have pulled out the bag, and they've started at the bottom and they've come all the way to the top again. But luckily Dan's had that good start on the first round in the second, so he can recover quite well in the next couple of races, even if he does finish 10th in this race. Wavy Minds then, it's great to see him back on track. Personally, I haven't seen him on track for a while, but he's a very strong driver, and he's been a part of UGL for quite a while actually. As he has a snap, but he saved it well. That's a good save from him. You can see the experience kicking in there. Kronos Grand in his McLaren livery, big McLaren fan is Kronos, and he currently drives for McLaren in UGL. Someone who we've seen improve over the seasons as well. And right now he's turned from someone who was learning and is at the back to someone who is now a very strong midfield driver. And there we go then, guys, that's the end of the Belgian Grand Prix. Tom Inferno takes first place again. That's a back-to-back win. Oh, it's not. Sorry, that's my mistake. I saw someone weaving left to right. Thank you, Jamie. God, I'm losing it. Weaving, bloody hell. Okay, so sorry, guys. It's the last lap of the race then. Tom Inferno, he's pulled 5 seconds off of Alfie there. He's done really well, so I'm sure we're going to see him take the win. All he needs to do is keep it on track, and he's got the full maximum points. Alfie has done a really good job there to hold in second place. He was pressured by Pearcy for a while, but he's managed to pull away. Midgeman, 4th position. He's slowly, once again, he is still coming on Andrew, but Andrew's doing really well. He's using that ERS, like I said, just to keep that gap between those two. And I'm sure Andrew will really want to confirm his podium here. Davies then, you can see here, the guys are really closing up, like I said. When they've saved their ERS and they're getting used to the track conditions, these guys can get really close and start battling. But these guys, they're doing really well just to keep on track. As we see Midgeman get a 2-second penalty there, which will affect him at the end of the race, unfortunately. Here we go then, Tom Inferno coming into Sector 3 now. He's finishing off his stint. He's done a really good job to pull away. Effortless, really, from Tom, it seems. But the things that you don't see when the drivers are driving is, you know, it is really difficult to keep the car on in these conditions. And here we go then, Alfie also finishing his stint, 3 seconds ahead of Pearcy there in second place. And Andrew himself coming through to finish in 3rd position. However, Midgeman has gone wide there. I don't know if he's going to do a final burst. We'll soon see if he tries to go for it. No, he doesn't. It's a bit too far away there. But there we go. Tom Inferno sets the fastest lap of the race and takes the win. Alfie in 2nd position. Pearcy, a really great effort from him, gets 3rd position. Midgeman in 4th, but like we said, the penalties will account, and he gets 7th. Tech Support gets 4th. Davies gets 5th. Sniper gets 6th. Midgeman with the penalties gets 7th. Kronos gets 8th. Wavy gets 9th and 10th. is Hobgoblin, unfortunately. I think he had a spin at the start of the race. I don't know if anyone saw that. Another great effort from these guys then. Only 3 people DNFing. We all know it's really difficult to keep it on track when it comes to a track like this, and especially when you've got the weather mounted on top as well. So it's great to see these guys putting in a valiant effort like they've just done. So it's on to Austria now, I think. These guys have only had a few minutes to practice for the races, really. They haven't really known the calendar until now, which is great to see. It's great to see them try and acclimatise to the tracks. So yeah, like you say, Jamie, they've just done a full entire season, so they'll all have setups, they'll all have experience. It's those tracks that they did. It's those tracks that they did at the start of the season, which was half a year ago now, which they'll probably struggle with, like Miami, and they're not doing it. But you know, the tracks like Bahrain, Miami, Saudi Arabia, they're the ones that they'll struggle with at the start of season 5 because we just haven't done them for 6 months. Because in a esports league, you don't do track after, you don't do the same track after track. You do it once, and once you've done it once, you forget about it till the next season because you need to get ready for the race after. There we go then. So Tom again, a back-to-back win, setting the fastest lap as well, just to confirm that. Alfie gets 2nd, Piercy gets 3rd, Techsport in 4th, Davies in 5th, Sniper in 6th, Midgeman in 7th, Kronos in 8th, Wavy Minds in 9th, Hobgoblin in 10th, Matt in 11th, Stefan in 12th, and Frank in 13th. Unfortunately, 10th to 13th won't get any points, purely because they DNF from the race. If we can see the standings quickly. Oh, there we go then. So yeah, thanks, Steph. So we do get a fastest lap point as well. So like I said, all the points will add up at the end of the day. So Tom Inferno leads the championship, Alfie in 2nd, and Gary in 3rd. Great effort from Gary there. So let's move on then to the next race of the championship, which is Austria. We'll be back in 30 seconds to cover the qualifying. Sorry, Steph, I've just seen your question. Am I looking forward to season 5? I am actually. Being someone who is behind the organisation of the reveal and setting up for the season and looking at all the behind the scenes. And as an admin, you get to see all the progress of all the drivers. So I'm really excited to see who will show what skills they've learnt in season 4 and who will, I guess, work well with the teammate they have. You see a lot of the times that you get a team where the drivers don't really know each other, and throughout the season they get, they build that bond, they build that friendship, and the reason why a lot of the grid spend a lot of time together is purely because they've been teammates and they're on the grid together, so they learn what to like about each other. They build a friendship, and it's great to see that as well. And what I'm looking forward to season 5 is just how well all the teams are going to work together. And as you know, Steph, me and you did the pick of all the drivers, and obviously we can't reveal anything, but it's going to be great to see the kind of teams we've got and the way it looks, and the people that we picked out to be, to who's going to be with who, is going to be really exciting to see how they're going to work together and how they're going to try and manage it. At the end of the day, trying to get a championship. Sorry. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, the team reveal. I'll do a little plug. I'm editing it at the moment. I'm looking after it. And we do one every year. Since season 2, we've done one every season. On the 14th of January is when it's going to be released. It will be released live on YouTube. It won't be a normal video. It gets released live so we can all react to it together. So everyone hops in a party. We all look at who's in what team. We look at the calendar. And then we're also going to look at the awards for the season as well. If you don't know, we do an award ceremony. And everyone will find out where they've done well in what field. And we also have a few funny ones as well, which people can take through to season 5. Here we go then. So Stefan is leading the pack at the moment in qualifying for pole position, and it looks like he's taken pole position with a 1:05. That went quickly. Austria is a really small track, so these guys will whiz around it really quickly. Kronos Grand there, P2, great effort from him, and Tommy Furno P3, a bit out of position there, Tom, I think. PSC takes P5, Frank takes P6, Davis in P7. Hobgoblin in 8th, and Wavy Minds will confirm 9th place, and unfortunately 3 people unable to finish a lap. So as we can see there, guys, Austria is a really quick track. It's a favourite for a lot of people. Personally, not my favourite. I don't get on with it quite well, as most people know. But it's one of those tracks where you really have to be on it, because I think there's only like 9 to 10 corners, so you have to get them perfect, and they're really annoying corners, a few off camber. So these guys have been thrown in the deep end of Austria, really. A lot of people say it's a small track, it's really easy, but especially in this game, it's really difficult. There we go then, Stefan taking his first pole of the championship there. That's a really good job from him. We've seen him do well in the league, someone new to the league. It's great to have fresh faces, and Stefan is a fresh face to us, and he's improved really well. And it's great to see him getting on with the guys as well. And someone who we've seen has got some great pace as well. But you can, something that we look for in the league is pace, obviously, but the main thing we look for is, the cleanliness of driving, and the safety of all the drivers. And it's great to find people like Stefan and like the whole entire group, really. Yes, they've got a bit of pace, so we can see a bit of battling, but it's within that battling where we look for the safety. And that's why we get a lot of good feedback on our streams, because the battling is just immense, but it's done safely, and you can start a battle and end a battle without any dangerous driving. Here we go then. So the lights are coming on. It's 5 lights, and it is lights out and away we go. So Stefan then in the lead, but Kronos got a brilliant start there. He's going to take up into turn 1, I think. We'll see if he dives it on the inside. Let's have a look. Oh, it's done really well there to keep it clean. That's very clean from Kronos. And as you can see there, he's got his ERS on there, and he's going to try and make the move at the straight. You can see just here, it's a bit of a left-hand banker, so Stefan will have the better traction. But Kronos there with a great move at the inside takes the lead in the race. But Stefan's coming back. He's going to come back and try and take first back. This is a great battle from these two guys. It's great to see them mixing in between each other. We haven't seen these two battle before. And Kronos there diving it back in again. Great defence from Kronos. We've seen him in the past. His defence has been brilliant. When we look back at Spain and actually the last Austria race, we've seen many times from Kronos where, he's come and his defence has been absolutely brilliant. Tom Inferno then. Oh, and Stefan unfortunately span it. Oh, that's really unfortunate. After getting that pole position as well. That's really bad for you, mate. It's that inside curve, Jamie, mate. It's awful. It's really bad. It catches you off guard so many times. Well, let's take a breather. The Kronos then leading the pack in first. Tom Inferno in second position. He's going to want to get this win again. He wants a triple header. He wants a hat trick, does Tom. So Tom 4 tenths behind. Alfie crawling up behind Tom as well with 6 tenths. Jake in 4th position then with 1 second behind. I think he's just grabbed the penalty there, unfortunately. And Dan there, look at that. Frank and Dan getting really close there. That's brilliant from Dan. Great traction out of the corner. And he's managed to get that 5th position back. We'll just keep eyes on these guys. And see what happens, because Frank is a very aggressive driver, but as in a really, if you've got Frank behind you, he's going to try and do something. He's kind of the Max Verstappen of UGL. And when it works out, it looks great, and he gets some great moves under his belt. So Dan there, Dan there in 5th position. He's coming up on Jake, close mate of his, so these two are going to have a bit of fun on track. Probably a bit of argy-bargy between these two. These two know each other personally, and when they're on track, it's a great race. Tom Inferno takes fastest lap of the race. Kronos Grand then in 2nd position. Tom's gone for the move in turn 1, and he's taken it. But Kronos has got a chance here to come and fight back with his ERS and the traction that he's got at 2nd. And there we go, then Kronos takes the lead again, and Tom Inferno is going to try and fight back probably in the next straight. As you can see there, the DRS wing is now open. It's the first race we've seen where they've actually got DRS now, so we're going to see this come into play. And Tom Inferno will get DRS. He's going to give it a go, I think. And you can see that Kronos has already run out of DRS with his light flashing. Oh, a bit of contact there. It's a bit naughty from Tom, but you can see how much speed he picked up from that corner. And I think Tom was a bit shocked with the amount of straight line speed he's just grabbed from Kronos. So I think Kronos lives to fight another day. He didn't get any damage, it looked, so he's going to carry on. I think these guys at this point in the race are just going to try and settle down now and try and keep the consistency now. Just going to get our temperature up so we know what's going on. And there we go then, so we've got Jake and Alfie here and Dan just behind. They're all going to be battling here for the 3rd spot. Jake there then, he's going to get DRS again, but you can see there Dan's got DRS on Jake. So these guys are going to be battling really close up to the next sector now. And we've seen there, Jake's going to try and go for, Dan's going to try and go for the move on Jake. He's got really good traction out of turn 1 there, and he's going to send it up the inside. He is indeed. That's a great move from Dan, but he's still in it. He's still going to try. Oh, and he's held that really well. That's great positioning from Dan there, and he's done really well to get past him. And he's got another helping of DRS, so he's going to try and go for Alfie now in the next couple corners, I think. Jake there, he's probably going to try and hold on to the rear of Dan there. These guys are probably going to stick together for the rest of the race now, so we're going to have to keep our eyes on them. Kronos and Tom then. Kronos is going to try and go for Tom here, I think. He's probably going to go for the next straight. That'll be the strategic move of it. So we'll see what Kronos does here. Alfie then actually being the middleman kind of, but he's got Dan to deal with now. We're going to have to keep an eye on these guys. Kronos then, let's see if he tries to make a move. Sniper gets the penalty. What Kronos needs to do now is manage his ERS. He's got DRS, but he needs to manage that ERS. So not close enough yet, but we'll see if he gets a bit of traction. Let's just have a look what Dan's doing. Dan, he's not gone for a move yet, but he's probably going to save his ERS, and he's going to try and go for another move this lap. The last thing you want to do is put yourself in a position where you're going to get overtaken on the latter stages of the lap. And here we go then, Dan's going to go for the move. Will he try and go for a second helping of DRS? He won't, but Alfie's gone for a defensive move there, and he's nudged him out of the way. That's safe, don't worry. But he's gone for it, and that's great traction from Dan, and he's held 3rd position. That's a great effort from Dan. Tom then, he's going to give it a go. He dives down the inside of Kronos, and he's going to try and take the position. But Kronos, once again, he's got the traction. He's trying to defend, but it looks like his tyres have burnt out just a small bit, and he hasn't tried to go for the move there. Although he's still there, Tom has to be really careful here. But Tom there just has taken 1st place, and it looks like Kronos has run out of his ERS. Unfortunately, can't hold it. Although it's a podium for Kronos. Let's have a quick look. You never know, there might be a really late manoeuvre. So Kronos trying his absolute best then to try and get some traction, or keep it safe, mate. You just need to take it to the end now, otherwise you're going to get taken up by Dan. But there we go then, Tom takes the win of the Austrian Grand Prix. Kronos takes 2nd. Oh, he doesn't, sorry. Dan takes 2nd. Alfie takes 3rd. Kronos then gets a penalty, so it goes down to 4. So you can see that Kronos was probably trying to get that time back that he lost in the penalty. 5th place for Jake there. And I didn't see he was in 6th, but we'll have a look in a second. But that's a great effort from Tom once again, and it's great to see Dan back up there fighting back, and Alfie once again getting another podium. So that is the hat-trick for Tom. Let's see if he can carry the momentum on through to the 4th round, and Dan there gets driver of the day, which I think he should, starting at the back of the grid there. That was quick. That didn't last long at all, did it, Jamie? 5 minutes that race took. That's what you get with Austria. It's a really quick race. But there you go then. Tom once again, he got the fastest lap, so another point on top of the 25 points he gets for winning the race. Hobgoblin gets 2nd place. Great effort from him. He started in 8th place there, so he's gone up really well through the grid. Alfie, 3rd place once again on the podium. Kronos unfortunately didn't get the podium, but 4th place is really good for him. He got best of the rest. Davis getting 5th. Tech Support getting 6th. Piercy getting 7th. Frank getting 8th. Wavermond's getting 9th. Sniper getting 10th. Stefan 11th. And Midgeman 12th. Unfortunately, 11th and 12th will not get any points because they DNF'd from the race. So here we go then. Let's get an update on the championship. So Tom Inferno sits, he sits pretty comfortable in first place with 78 points there. Alfie with 48, so he's going to have to try and come back and fight Tom quite hard to get these points. Hobgoblin now has taken third off of Gary with 37 points. Dan could easily get up there with the unfortunate race he had last in Belgium. I'm sure he'll be able to fight back in the next few races. Fourth and fifth then, Jake and Andrew and the rest of the guys then have all done really well with 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. And you can see Kronos and Midgeman in the mixer as well with Stefan. So then, the next race on the calendar. Let's have a quick look. USA then, COTA, Circuit of the Americas. A favourite track of mine. I really enjoy COTA. But we won't go any further than that because my race was cut short, to say the least, after having contact with Gary. But these guys, if you know the guys in the grid, this is a favourite. The guys really love racing around here, and you can get some really good racing. It's one track where you need to, I would say you need to have quite a decent setup. If you want to be that consistent driver at the front, you need to have a setup which is going to see you to the end, where you don't have to worry about spinning the car or burning up the tyres. You just want to make sure you can get to the end, because there's a lot of these corners at COTA can really throw you off, and there's a lot of blind corners. Like in Sector 2, there's a blind corner, left-hander, where you can't see the next corner. But we'll be back in 10 seconds for the COTA Grand Prix. What are my final predictions for the final race of the season? From Danny there. I'm guessing you mean season 4. The thing is, Tom and Dan are incredible drivers, and it's probably the closest battle we've seen for the championship since UGLs began. So I do think the midfield will get closer, and I think Abu Dhabi will shuffle up the midfield pack because it is very close between all of the drivers, not just the top two. It'll be great to see who will get third. I'll have a look at the standings in a minute, but I think it's Climber and Nameless battling for third. So I do think we'll see a new podium sitter for the championship. My predictions for the champion, I can't really say because I don't want to offend anyone. Don't get me wrong, I'm Tom's teammate, so I have to say Tom, because at the end of the day, when it comes to it, I'll be helping Tom to win the championship, hopefully. But both of them deserve the championship. Dan is an impeccable driver. He's done really well with the results he's having this season, and he's had some really nasty races, and he's come back and he's proved how much of a good driver he is. But with Tom, he dropped from first by 50 points, and he's regained all those points back, and now is leading the championship. So they both deserve it. But no, they're both incredible drivers. It'll be great to see any of them get it. But like I said, to not cause controversy within Aston Martin, I have to say I'm going to have to say Tom, purely because I'm his teammate. I have to support him. If I was Dan's teammate, I'd say Dan, because they're both incredible lads. Speaking of Tom, he's currently sitting provisional pole. Tech support in second, Alfie in third, but it's really hard to tell because all the guys are going to be moving up and down. Because you got to think the cars aren't meters apart; they're centimeters apart. We can't see it, but if you can imagine, all the cars are centimeters apart, so they're all going to be up and down the grid, and you can't really tell who's going to be on pole until they cross the line. And there we go then. Tom Inferno gets pole position by 4 tenths. Sorry, that's a great effort from Tom. A 1 minute 33.8. Hobgoblin then a 1:34.2. Kronos a 1:34.5. Kronos then gets back on the podium positions to start the grid off then. That's a great effort from him. And then we see Gary gains 6th. That's a great effort from Gary. Someone who we've seen become quite consistent within the league actually is Gary in his Haas. I'm not going to repeat that. So there we are then, the top 7 who all set times. Tom Inferno, Hobgoblin, Kronos, Jake, Alfie, Sniper, and Wave Your Minds. And then the bottom 5, tech support, Frank, Piercy, Midgeman, and Milne, who unfortunately were unable to set a lap. I think Tom will also get a point for pole position as well. So it'll all add up at the end. I'll get corrected in the chat if I'm wrong. Why aren't you running for first, eh? Is that at me? If that's at me, that's a violation. Tinks. Alright then guys, so it's 5 lights on. And it's lights out and away we go. So there we are then, Tom once again in pole position, getting a really good start. And Kronos drops behind straight away there, but he's going to try and dip it on the outside. He's gone quite wide there, he's going to struggle out there. As you can see, Dan is now pressuring him straight away. Alfie then trying to fight back from Dan though. He's done really well. You don't want to go side by side through here, lads. It's going to be really difficult to keep it, but you've done well. Oh. And there you go. That's what happens when you try and go side by side. So there we go. Dan then did really well off the start. And now he's going to try and battle these two up for first. I'm sure Dan will really want the win now after struggling in the last couple of races. Kronos then in second place. He's done really well to hold it there actually after the start that Tom had. Tom will have to be really careful now because after Kronos getting those penalties, I'm sure he'll want a bit of redemption after losing that podium. Alfie then in 4th position once again. It's getting a regular thing now, seeing Alfie up here. It's great to see him up here alongside Davies, who is now steadily coming up on Alfie. Is he going to try and make a bold move? No, it's too early for it, isn't it, Jake? You can see these guys being really careful through here. It's this sector of the track which gets really dangerous. You can really easily lose your back end around this sector. As you can see there, Kronos' back end sliding all over the place. And Dan then, on this long right-hander, once again, you need to be really careful here. If you feather the throttle even a little bit, you can really easily lose it, even if the track is boiling hot and really rubbery. You need to be really careful. So let's have a look at Dan then. We might see a little move come from Dan, but you never know. The thing Dan won't want to do is stay stuck behind Kronos and then lose time to Tom. Dan will want to be on Tom straight away to try and recover some of the points that he's lost. We see there a gap forming between Dan and Alfie now. The top 3. You can get into this rhythm, you'll follow the guy in front, and if you want to stay consistent, they're going to start watching the guy in front and they're just going to stay in that little pack and want to keep... oh, Kronos got the corner there. He might have to exceed that position to Dan there because that was quite a big corner cut there. We'll soon see though. But we can see there Dan, even with that corner cut, is still right behind Kronos. And I'm sure we'll try and make a move really soon. Just have a look at Dan's livery actually. I've been looking at his halo all the time, but that's actually quite a cool livery. If someone wants to let me know what that's based off of, because that's really sick. Alfie then in his UGL livery kart. Something that a lot of people don't know is we do our League v League races, and the livery that Alfie's sporting there is our League v League livery. So if you ever see this livery on track in any of the streams, just know that that's UGL's League v League livery, which we do now and again. Sniper then coming up on Alfie after a difficult start. I think he made contact with Frank at the start of this race. Is now steadily pushing up to Alfie, and I'm sure we'll see him make a move at some point. Kronos and Dan there, 5 seconds, 5 tenths between each other now. These guys are going to get really close towards the latter stages of the race, and it's going to get to the point where it's going to be all about ERS and see who can make a final lunge into the corners. Let's just have a look at the track map here. So there we go. So Milne there, struggling. I'm not too sure what happened there. I think he had contact with the car in front, Wavy. Turn 1 in Kota is really, really difficult. It's an acute corner, so it's really difficult to try and... It's a blind corner and an acute corner, actually. So it's really difficult to try and get a good exit out of there, especially when you've got 20 other cars around you. So Kronos there, looking a bit squirmy. Dan's going to use that to his advantage. Dan will have DRS now. Kronos is 1 second behind Tom, so I don't think he'll get DRS unless he's only just managed to grab it. But we'll see Dan then come up really quickly on Kronos. It's quite a long straight, so there's plenty of room for Dan to make a move, if he gets close enough, that is. But it looks like Dan's just holding off right now until the latter stages of the race, because he doesn't want Kronos bouncing back at him. Sniper then, up into 4th. He's made a move on Alfie, and he's made it stick. And we can try and see if Gary's going to pull away. If not, then these two are going to have a great battle near the end of this race. Same goes for Tech Support and Frank here. Sorry, Tech Support and Alfie as well. These three are just like the top 3. They're all going to be stuck together, and it's all going to be about a final lunge at the end of the race. Davies then having quite a lonesome race, but he's got Andrew for company. We're going to see if Andrew can try and pull it back and make a move for 8th, because it's all about the points at the end of the day. It's only a 7-race championship, so they're going to need to get as many points as possible before we hit all the quite difficult tracks at the end of the championship. So Tom then steadily pulling away from Kronos, and this is probably the last thing that Dan wants. Dan will want to try and get past Kronos, I think, to try and catch Tom. But Kronos has done quite a good job to stay in front, and Kronos has missed the corner again, and he's had to exceed that. And Dan has got a free pass there, and has made a move, and he's going to now try and push for Tom, I'd say. So yeah, Kronos has unfortunately spun there. He just needs to be really careful not to distract anyone and enter the track safely. And carry on his race. That's quite unfortunate for Kronos, because it looked like he was quite strong as he spins again. His tyres are going to be really, really hot now. What he needs to do is just slowly move away and slowly bring the speed back up in the straight and cool his tyres down. So that's unfortunate. Kronos is race over there. Tom Inferno then, 2 seconds ahead of Dan, going for another win. Dan will just have to try and push as hard as he can now and try and make up as much time as he can. We've only 1 lap to go now, so, or 1.5 laps to go, so they're all going to start pushing. But we can kind of see our confirmed podium here already with Tom, Dan and Gary. But you can see there Tom has done really well to stay consistent, and we've got a yellow flag. Is that Kronos again? Yeah, I think it is. That's Kronos spinning again. His tyres are going to be really, really butchered now after spinning. And I think that's the 4th time he's almost spun. He just needs to try and keep it on track now and finish and get some points on the board. So final lap of the race then. Tom Inferno is pulling away steadily from Dan. I say steadily, only by a 10th a lap probably. But it looks like that Tom is straining his ERS quite a bit though. So you never know. You could get some final lap antics, but these guys are going to try and just keep consistent now and try and see it to the final corner. What's happening here then? So we've got a couple of guys battling at the bottom. So Wavy Minds and Milne here. A couple of drivers that we haven't actually really seen battle together before. So these 3 are going to be battling on the final stage of the race. And wow, Milne goes for a massive lunge there and tries to make it stick. Does Wavy bounce back? I think he's had a bit of a... Oh no, he's still there. So Milne has succeeded there, and Wavy Minds has defended quite well there after that massive move from Milne. But he's let him by, so there must have been a bit of argy-bargy there between those two. So that's fair play for these guys. That's good sportsmanship there. And we'll see if these guys will make a move near the end of the stages. Tom Inferno then coming at the final stages of the lap, and you can see how much time Dan has. Look at how much time Dan has gained there on Tom. You can see how strategic Dan has been with his ERS there, and how much time he's gained on Tom. If only he was a couple, maybe even half a lap earlier on his push, he might have been able to catch Tom. But you can see there Tom just being consistent, just keeping it clean now, and he's going to take it round to the final corner, and it looks like Tom is going to win the Kota Grand Prix, and he's going to get 4. That's 4 wins for Tom. And let's see Dan cross the line then. Has Dan got fastest lap? I think he has. No, Tom's got fastest lap again. So that's a great effort from Tom. Really great effort from Tom. So that's 4 wins for Tom and 4 fastest laps. Dan taking 2nd place, a great recovery once again. Sniper taking 3rd. I think that's his first podium of the 5 Lappy Championship. So that's a great effort from him. Alfie taking fourth. Alfie's getting comfortable in that fourth position, I think. He's really good at just staying consistent within the middle pack. Tech Support taking fifth. Davis taking sixth. Piercy taking seventh. Milne taking eighth. Wavy Minds somewhat getting across the line in ninth. And Kronos spinning as per usual, apparently. And then, unfortunately, Frank and Midgeman unfortunately DNFing from the race and won't score any points. And we can see that Kronos now steadily making his way to the end of the race there. After spinning, I think, 6 times in the race, bless him. There we go then, so that is a COTA Grand Prix. That's a great effort from all the drivers. And Tom once again gets his 4th win. Dan getting the 3rd podium. Techsport there gets the driver of the day, which I think he does deserve. He did really well to fight back after the contact that he had in turn 1. Let's have a look then at the championship standings. So there we go then. Tom being quite dominant in the 5-lapper championship on 104 points. He's broken 100 points already with only 4 races. So 44 points in front of Alfie then on 60 points in 2nd. Dan in 3rd place, only 5 points behind Alfie there. So that's going to be a really good battle for the 5-lapper championship there. Sniper or Gary in 4th and also Jake in 5th, both on 36 points there. So we've got a bit of a rivalry there forming for these 2 drivers. So we're going to be looking forward to seeing what happens there. 30 points is what Tech Support is on in 6th. Piercy with 27 points there. So that's going to be another close battle between those 2. Kronos on 21 points, unfortunately missing out on 2 podiums now. After 1 getting a penalty and 2 spinning it out a few times in COTA. Midgeman on 12 points and Wavy 6, and both Frank and Milne on 4 points in 11th and 12th. So the next track we're moving on to is, if I have a quick look, we're moving on to Britain, Silverstone. Now, this is every single driver on this grid right now is British. So it's going to be no, am I wrong? Who's not British? Oh, Wavy Minds. Sorry, Wavy. Don't kill me. He's not British. My bad. Well, if Wavy Minds wins, Wavy Minds is Dutch. There you go. If he wins the race, then everyone's going to have a yeah, yeah. He's going to get a bit of stick. So yeah, this is one that people are going to want to win. The likes of Tom and Dan. They know full well they're able to win here, so they're going to want to get the win. Everyone loves this track. It's probably the favourite track of the overall grid, and we always get the numbers at Silverstone, whether it's the stream and the grid. So it'll be great to see what happens to these guys. I think when they saw Silverstone, everyone's sat a notch close to the screen after they've seen Silverstone. So I think everyone's going to be on it now. They're going to want to do really well. Yeah, sorry Tom, but my money's on Dan as well. Dan is so good around Silverstone, so you never know. Although, I mean, everyone's pretty good, Jamie, aren't they? Really, I'm sure everyone's been practicing. here we are then, guys. So, one-shot qualifying, round Silverstone. Like I said, it's quite difficult to commentate over the one-shot qualies because you don't really see much apart from maybe a lap or two. But let's go on board with one of the drivers, if I can. They keep chopping and changing. Let's go on board with... I want to go on board with Dan. There we go. Let's go on board with Hobgoblin then and get a lap of Silverstone. I'll stay silent and I'll get all the crap off the screen and you can watch a lap of Silverstone. And there we are then, so a lap of Silverstone. And there we are, Dan gets pole position. Brilliant lap from Dan. Great effort. 2 seconds in front of Kronos. You can tell this man practices Silverstone. That's a great effort. I'm sure the Hobgoblin householders just let out a big cheer as well. That's a great effort from Dan there. Kronos getting second place. Third for Piercy. So that is our podium lined up. Midgeman in 4th, and I think that was Sniper in 5th as well. There we are then. So Hobgoblin is on pole position. Kronos in 2nd, Piercy in 3rd, Midgeman in 4th, Wavy Minds in 5th, Alfie in 6th, Milne in 7th, Tech Support in 8th, Tom Inferno in 9th, Sniper in 10th, and Davis in 11th. So this is what Dan wants then. This is what he needs. Tom Inferno in 9th there. So there's 8 places between him and Dan. So hopefully we'll see Dan show what he's like through Silverstone. You've got your money on Dan, have you, Jamie? I can vouch for Dan as well. He's been on a set of course for competition for like the past month, I think. So he's coming back to F1 2022 after that kind of game is difficult. So he's done really well to get the podiums that he's got against the kind of drivers we've got. Here we are then, guys. So it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go. So on board then with Hobgoblin. Gets a really good start there. Look how much clearance he's got. But look at that. Midgeman with a brilliant start as well. Up into 3rd place. But only just losing out to Wavy Minds there. Hobgoblin then leading the pack in his black and gold and red car. Kronos then holding 2nd again. Let's see if he can get a podium this time. I'm sure he will. He does really enjoy Silverstone. Sticking on to Dan's rear diffuser then. Let's see if he can stay there. But it is Hobgoblin, so it's probably going to be quite difficult for him. Piercy in 3rd position then, but is fending off Tom Inferno, who is already up in 4th from 8th. Tom has had a brilliant start. And I'm sure Tom will... Oh no, Dan's gone! Oh no! Dan! That's so unfortunate, man. Oh, Dan. I'm sorry, mate. I shouldn't have said anything. That's my fault. That's you putting your money on him, Jamie, that is. Right then, so to carry on then, Kronos Grant is leading the pack in 1st, Piercy in 2nd, Tom Inferno in 3rd, who is now going to try and do a redemption race after qualifying in 8th, Alfie in 4th, who is right on the rear diffuser of Tom Inferno there. Probably won't make a move through here because I think he does understand how dangerous it can be. But I tell you what, Andrew is going for a move there. And he's going to try and make it stick into the chicane now. Let's see if he makes a dive. He's going to go round the outside and see if he can make it stick around the McLaren. And he's done really well there. He's got a bit of traction. He's going to make it stick. But Kronos with a defensive move there. They're both side by side down the main straight. Let's see what happens in turn 1 then. Andrew then just ahead, he's got a bit of an advantage and he makes it stick, but Kronos with the switchback, he's round the outside. Is he going to make a dive down it? He has, he's made the lunge, he's going to try and make it stick, but Andrew is defending, he's with all his might, and Andrew there has stuck it on the inside. But Kronos once again has bounced back to the inside of Andrew there, and he's going to make it stick. Oh, and he's had to lift off, he's made a mistake there, but now Tom Inferno is now making a move on Kronos. Let's see what Tom's going to do. He's going to make the dive. Kronos is defending, but Tom makes it stick. Tom is now gone around the inside, and now he's going to try and attack Andrew. Andrew's left the space open there. He needs to close it. Gary is also on Kronos here. Gary's going to have the slipstream of Kronos, and he's probably going to try and make a move into Cops. But we don't want to see a Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton situation here. Let's see what happens. So Tom then coming right up behind the gearbox of Piercy there. He's going to try and make a move into Maggots. Let's see if he does it. He hasn't. He's backed out. That's smart from Tom. What he needs is a slipstream and a good exit to try and get him down Hanger Straight. But Sniper then, Kronos has spun it, but Sniper is right behind Tom though, and Tom is going to try and make a move on Andrew probably, although he doesn't have DRS yet, so he's probably going to wait until the main straight. So these guys now have all got a bit of a gap between them, and this is where they need to take a breather and try and think about what they're going to do, as Tom closes up on Andrew once again. Right, let's take a breather. My goodness. Tom Inferno then from 8th is up into 2nd, Andrew in 1st, leading the pack, and is looking really, really strong. Gary then is closing up on Tom here though, so we might see a three-way battle here for 1st. Tech Support has lost a bit of time to Sniper, so the top 3 are all pulling away now, and I can't see any battles in the midfield just yet, so we'll stick with these guys, as Tom Inferno is now really uptight to that gearbox of Andrew, and he's going to want to try and make this move early so he can pull away in front of Andrew. But let's see if Andrew can pull out any defensive moves. So he goes on the outside of Andrew and is dipping now onto the inside of the corner. Moves around, but Andrew's trying his best to try and lunge it through and get a defensive move in there. And let's see if Andrew can try and stick with Tom here and make a counter move on Tom. However, Gary has now got some really good traction out of that corner there, and he's going to try and come up to Cops right behind Andrew's gearbox and maybe even make a move up into Maggots and Beckett's. As Tom now gets some really good traction out of Cops and is pulled away from Andrew just slightly, but there's going to be a battle between these 3 still. You can see how much ERS all of them have got, and there you go, Andrew's come right back up to Tom there, and he will have DRS I think, so we'll see if he can make a move on Tom. Here we go, so let's see if he can do it. He's got DRS, he's got the slipstream, Tom's gone defensive and he's gone around the outside of Tom, and he's going to come on the inside of the hanger corner here, and Andrew there being defensive, but Tom has lunged it around the outside. Let's see if he can make it stick. Andrew there with a brilliant defensive move on the inside of the Hanger Straight there. And Andrew holding out really, really well, but he's going to let Gary come through as well. Now Gary's gone on the inside of Andrew, and Gary's going to try and make the move on. They've made contact, and Gary's gone, and Andrew's gone as well. That's poor. That's poor. That's going to be controversial, as Tom gets an easy free ride out of that accident there, and Tom is now holding 1st, Tech Support in 2nd, and Dan is back up into the podium positions. That's really unfortunate from these guys. That was quite a controversial move from those 2, but Tom has got a free pass there. He's quite lucky in that situation. He was right in between both of them and has managed to come out clean. So Tech Support then, the grid has completely shuffled now. Tech Support is up in 2nd, Hobgoblin is in 3rd, Kronos Grand is in Milne is in 4th, Kronos Grand is in 5th, Davies is in 6th, and these 3 are looking really, really close now. Hopefully we don't see the same situation happen to these 3 that we just seen in the top 3. Andrew then dropped down to 7th after that unfortunate contact with Gary. Gary in 8th, Wavy in 9th, Midman in 10th. Right now, Tom Inferno though has got Tech Support all over his gearbox. Tom Inferno hasn't been given a break right now. He's got 1st, he's got to what he's wanted, but now he's going to have to try and make it stick. And I don't think anyone's going to make life easy for him, especially because it's Silverstone. People want to win Silverstone. It's pretty much everyone's home race here, and it's UGL's home race as well. Hobgoblin then coming back after his unfortunate spin, but it's not that far off to be fair. He's going to be able to pull this time back. We've seen the pace he had, and we saw how quickly he pulled back in Kota. As long as he does his usual, he saves his ERS, he leaves it, and he uses it to his advantage, and he uses his strategies, he should be alright. Tech Support then is putting pressure on Tom, just a tad, but we've seen Tom under pressure. Let's just see if we can, we'll have a look and see if Tech Support can make a move. So Tech Support then, he's got DRS, not that much ERS, but Tom's on the same boat. If Tech Sport can keep this DRS, it means that these two are going to battle and may even slow down and give Dan an advantage. But these two will probably see a move being made on the Hangar Straight. But the last thing Tech Sport wants to do is make a move now and then get Tom right back at him on the last lap. Well, it is the last lap, sorry. But the last thing Tom wants, is for Tech Sport to come get him now after avoiding that move there. Small stat from Tech Sport there, but he's kept it. He's made it stick. So we'll see what kind of traction he gets through Maggots and Beckett's here. The main thing he wants is a really good exit out of here and to try and get him on the Hangar Straight. And Tom is out of VRS, but so's Tech Sport. So the only thing he's got is DRS now. That's all Tech Sport has to try and assist him with this move. He's going to try and make a big lunge. No, he doesn't. He backs out. Tom Inferno has kept it really clean through there, and he's got good traction to keep the position there. And one last chance there Tech Sport had, but he didn't go for it. I think he knew that he was a bit too far back. So there we go then. Tom wins the British Grand Prix. He's going to be stoked about that, from 8th to 1st. That's a great effort from Tom. Tech Support gets 2nd place. Hobgoblin gets 3rd. Another podium for him. Really unfortunate with that spin. I feel really sorry for him. I reckon Dan would have had that win in the bag if he hadn't have spanned. Milne in 4th place. Davies in 5th. Kronos in 6th. Sniper in 7th. And Andrew to cross the line in 8th. Really unfortunate for Andrew there. That was a really good effort from him. I reckon we could have seen him battle for the win there if he hadn't have spun. There we go then. Tom Inferno, driver of the day, really well deserved there, from 8th position to 1st. That's a great effort. Two more races to go, guys. 2 more races to go. I don't think... Let's have a look. Oh, yeah, no, he did. So Dan got fastest lap of the race. So like I said before, all the points add up to the end. I think the best result Dan can get now is maybe 2nd in the championship. Yeah. So Dan there will be wanting to hold that 2nd place now after his unfortunate start to the championship. Alfie then holds 3rd place in the championship. Tech Support in 4th. Davies in 5th. Sniper in 6th. And Piercy in 7th. Kronos in 8th. And Milne in 9th. And Midgeman in 10th. There we go then. So Tom Inferno breaks 120 points there. And I think he's almost at 130. Hobgoblin on 71 points. Tech Support on 48 points. Right, just only 2 points in front of Davies. On 46 points, Sniper on 42 points, Piercy on 31 points, Kronos Grand on 29, and Milne on 16 points. Miami is the next race. We haven't been here in about 6 months, so these guys are going to be bringing back all the memories of the Miami Grand Prix. It was quite eventful, but let's see if these guys can remember the track after all the practice they had before it came out. And the first message we've had on Discord as soon as Miami popped up is "Oh no, Miami." So yeah, I think we can all agree on how these guys feel about the track. The gingerbread lady Eom. What? Mate, who does his bot think he is? Get sent. There we go then. Let's pick someone to do an onboard lap with around Miami. I might as well leave them to do their laps without me commentating over them, because it is really difficult to commentate over a lap when they're all chopping and changing. So I'll pick someone to do a lap of Miami, and we can see who gets pole position at the end, and I'll stay silent. There we go then. So Tom Inferno gets pole position with a I think that was a 127. I'll have a look quickly. So yet again, another pole position for Tom Inferno. A bit of redemption after missing out on the pole position in Silverstone. So yeah, 127.6 for Tom, a 127.8 for Dan, a 128.7 for Sniper, and then the 128s run down to the 129s, all the way down to 8th place. There we are then. So the red lights in Miami are on. It's 5 lights and it's lights out and away we go. Tom Inferno then, once again, at the start and at the front of the pack. Gets a really good start actually, going into turn 1. Gary, the Sniper, holding second place there and leading the rest of the pack, and is actually leading off of Hobgoblin, who got second in qualifying. And we've already got a spinner. I think that's Milne. Yeah, Milne has already spun, unfortunately, at the start of the race. So I'm just going to get the telemetry on so I can actually see who's who. There we go. So yeah, Tom Inferno leading the pack in first, Sniper in second. That's a great start for him actually. Hobgoblin in third, Davis in fourth, who is now coming up on Hobgoblin. Piercy in fifth, Kronos in sixth, and Texport in seventh. So there we go then. So Hobgoblin is going to try and come up on Gary here, and also Jake is just sitting behind, and he's probably going to try and use this battle in front of him to an advantage to try and get by, but it's early stages. And here we go, the really tricky chicane here. You can either get a really bad exit or really good exit out of this left-hander here. We'll see who gets the advantage out of this. Hobgoblin then is going to probably try and make a move on the Sniper here. He's in the same boat as he was in Dakota. He doesn't want to get held up and then lose time to Tom, because Tom is already a second and a half in front of Sniper. And there we go then. So Dan goes around the outside of Gary here. He's going to try and make it stick, but unfortunately Gary, with a great defensive move then, stays in front and covers off any chance of Dan getting by. So Gary then makes sure he sticks in second, but Dan is going to try and fight back straight away, I'm guessing, as Jake loses a bit of time to Dan there as they're battling. It looks like he may have struggled out of the exit of the chicane there in the back straight. Hobgoblin then and Gary, it's the closest battle on the track so far. With Miami, it's quite an inconsistent track. It's very difficult to make moves. It's a bit like Zandvoort. The track is left and right, it's all over the place, off-camber turns and chicanes. So it's very difficult to make any sort of move, probably apart from maybe the back straight, or you might be able to fit a move into turn 1. But if you're going to try and make a move anywhere in this track, you just need to be careful on your brakes, and you need to try and time it well. And you need to be quite strategic. Like down here is a quite a popular corner for overtakes. As Dan taps Gary, unfortunately. He must have missed his break point by a few metres. And that's Gary out of this race, unfortunately, in 7th place. No damage though, so he should be able to recover. But unfortunately he has missed out on the podium that he was fighting for. Tom Inferno then. We've seen this before. It's a recurring theme for Tom right now. He is 2.5 seconds in front of Dan there. Dan has lost quite a bit of time after that contact with Gary, and it looks like Tom is now just going to try and keep a steady pace. And I think the only thing he wants now is a bit of a lonely race, just to try and see him through to the end now. It is only 3 laps left, but anything can happen in those 3 laps, as we've seen. Davis then is now coming up on Dan after that contact he made with Gary, and is only 7/10 behind Hobgoblin. Piercy, Andrew, is now moving up on Jake as well, so there's 7/10 behind between all of them. Sorry, as Kronos once again is now recovering after that difficult start he had. Milne unfortunately has retired from the race, so we won't be seeing him again until the next race. So we won't be getting any championship points. As Tom Inferno is slowly losing a bit of time to Hobgoblin. I think now that Dan has recovered from the contact he made, he's going to try and pull back and see what time he can recover of what he lost. Jake then has picked up a 2-second penalty I'm not too sure what that was from. It probably just an error on his part and made a mistake into a corner. It's very easy to hit track limits in this race and around Miami, as you see there. Andrew then is pressuring Jake there, and we'll get DRS down this back straight here, and we'll probably try and make a move. So we'll see what kind of pace Andrew has coming out of this corner there. He has got his DRS wing open. Jake can't really defend as there's no one with close enough to give him DRS in front. So you can see there Jake making a defensive manoeuvre there, going around the outside again and making that third position stay. Dan gets the fastest lap of the race and is now pushing towards Tom. That was a great defensive move there from Jake, and he lives to fight another day in third position. As Andrew though, you can see there has still got a bit of ERS left, whereas Jake, well actually they're both kind of on the same, so they've both drained that ERS then to try and make each other's moves stick, but luckily Jake has made his stick the most and is number third, and it's actually looking like he's pulling away just a tiny bit. Oh, and as Piercy makes a big mistake there and he's off. That's really unfortunate for Andrew there. He's doing really well. It looks like he had a massive snap there on the left-hander and tried to pull it back, and unfortunately Carl left him. You get that quite a lot in this track. With all the long left and right-handers, you find yourself getting a bit squirrely, and it's actually the correction that will send you flying into a wall. So we're on board with Tom now. Dan, as I said, he is now making time again, and he's pushing really hard towards Tom, and is actually probably going to start worrying Tom now, as he's built up quite a lot of time. But it looks like Tom is quite strong on the corner exits here, so it's going to get quite interesting when we see these guys go into lap 5, as Jake now is having quite a bit of a lonesome race there. 8 tenths until he's got tech support, but he's only got 1 lap left, so hopefully he can try and make it stick, although these guys behind him are battling really, really hard. So tech support might be able to pull away from those two and actually come up on Jake. But he's going to need the DRS, so he's going to want to stay within 1 second of Jake there to try and make any sort of move. Here we are then. So Jake and Dan, Dan and Tom, both championship rivals in the UGL Season 4, both now getting really close to each other in the final lap of the race. It looks like Dan has now pulled in closer to Tom, and has done a really good job at trying to get closer and get within that 1 second mark. We'll see if he's grabbed that DRS or not. You have to be within 1 second to get DRS, and it looks like he's only just got it. Yep, there you go. So Dan has DRS here, so he's going to want this helping to try and pull in closer to Tom, and then he's probably going to want to get the DRS in the next straight to possibly make a move. Tom hasn't got anyone in front of him, obviously, as he's leading the race, so he's got no way of getting DRS to try and pull away from Dan. So hopefully, if things go well for Dan, if he gets a good exit out of this chicane, he might be able to make a final lunge here and try and take the win of the race. Jake then, he's got tech support all over him. Oh, and he makes a small error there, as tech support now is right on his gearbox. So let's stay on board with Dan then and see if we can try and make some sort of a move. He is quite far back, but now he's got DRS, he's going to try and stick it now, and he's going to try and push forwards towards Tom. And you can see the time slowly moving off Tom, but it doesn't look like he's going to get a move, unfortunately. So Tom then has managed to stay in front of Dan there. Has defended really well and got a really good start. And yet again, I think that's his 5th or 6th win now of the 5-lapper championship. So Tom then wins the Miami Grand Prix. Dan gets 2nd place once again. Tech support again on the podium behind Dan. Sniper behind tech support in 4th. Davies gets 5th position. Kronos gets 6th, and Piercy gets 7th place. Unfortunately for Piercy, he span out with that correction. Stop saying nice things about Dan, you'll jinx it again. Blame Greg. Wow. Hashtag blame Greg. You should put that on his bio. Hello, my name's Hello, my name's Hobgoblin. Hashtag blame Greg. There we go then. So Dan gets the fastest lap of the race. And confirms P2 as well alongside that. Tom gets another win of the championship. Tech support gets 3rd. Sniper gets 4th. Davies gets 5th. Kronos Grand gets 6th. Piercy gets 7th. And Milne, unfortunately, with that crash, DNFs from the race and won't score any points, unfortunately. Let's have a quick look at the championship standings. So Tom well away now by 64 points now from Dan. However, Dan has recovered well and has done really well to get that second place, and is on 90 points and is clear of tech support there. There's still a fighting chance for Jake to get third place there. He needs to do really well in the next race to come. Gary is in 5th, Piercy is in 6th, Kronos is in 7th, and Milne is in 8th after that DNF in Miami. Here we are then, guys. So the final race of the 5-lapper championship is at China, Shanghai. Again, I mean, a lot of the tracks that we've done are favourites of the drivers, but this one is evidently a favourite of the guys. Although it can be quite difficult to race around, so these guys will have quite a challenge, as they haven't actually raced around here in a very long time. As you know, China got added to the track quite late, so we haven't had a chance to race around here, I don't think, on the top of my head, but we might. I'm not too sure. So it's going to be great to see these guys race around China again. I personally haven't seen the guys race around China, so it'd be great to see what kind of racing we get in these cars around Shanghai. I think I'm going to go on board with Jake for this one. I hope he likes China. I think he likes China. I'll go on board with Jake and see how he does around the lap of China. There we go then. So Kronos Grand gets pole position of a 1:33.5. That's a great effort from Kronos there. And it looked like I think it was tech support and Tom Inferno that actually retired from qualifying. So that gives everyone else a chance to try and win the race effectively. Gary then, or Sniper, gets second place. That's a great effort from him. Davies gets third place. Andrew gets fourth. Dan gets fifth. Tech support gets sixth, and Tom Inferno with a crash and a DNF gets seventh. So here we are then. Kronos has had, I think, 6 chances for a podium. Let's see if he can get it this time. Here we are then, guys. So it's 5 red lights in Shanghai. And it's lights out and away we go. So Kronos Grand then leads the pack away. Doesn't get the best of starts because Sniper is already side by side of him. And let's see if Gary can try and make a move. He dives up the inside. And around here you need to keep your throttle consistent. You can't be letting off, otherwise you're gonna lose out on the guy behind you. So there we go, then Sniper places it perfectly around there and manages to hold his first place there. Kronos loses out unfortunately, but he's still in second, and he's got Jake the company behind him as well. Tech Support is pushing up on Jake again, with Dan moving up the pack right in front of Tom actually. So Dan up in 4th now, he's just over, I think he's just got a double overtake. Yeah, he has indeed. Tech Support then in 3rd position, and Dan has actually just taken that right off him. Dan's doing a stellar job in the first lap of this race. Let's see if he can push it any further and try and get up to the top spot. Sniper then, holding the lead of the race by 1.5 seconds already. That was a great start from Gary there. He's pulled away massively with the first stages of the race. Jake holding 2nd position, however, he's got his close mate Dan right behind him. And I'm sure Dan isn't going to give him an easy time here, seeing as it is the last race of the championship. Tech Sports then, in his UGL livery, will be pushing hard to try and get a podium position, I'm sure, after losing out on the last race. But Tom Inferno is right on his gearbox here, and he might even try and go for a lunge here. Let's see if he'll give it a go. He has. He's gone down the inside. He's going to try and make it stick, but Tech Sport is defending quite well there. Let's see if Tom's made it stick. It looks like he has. No, he hasn't. Sorry, he's lost out to Tech. I didn't see him go that far. So Sniper gets the fastest lap of the race. Jake is pulling in slowly now. He must have made a small mistake at the opening stages of the race, but he's pulling it in slowly now. Dan Note is right on his diffuser there, and I'm sure he's going to want to try and make a move as quickly as possible. Tech Sport then made it stick with the defence against Tom. However, Tom is still there. He won't let off easily, as I'm sure everyone knows, with the battles that we've seen between Tom and Dan in the previous races in Season 4. Andrew unfortunately dropped back a small bit, and is actually being quite hard on those curbs there. You want to be careful there, mate, because you can easily spin. Kronos, after getting pole position, has actually lost out and is all the way down at 7th now. Unfortunately, I didn't quite see what happened to him, but it must have been quite a big mistake. Sniper then has lost time to Jake, just a small bit, and Jake will get DRS, I think, this lap. Although mistakenly, Dan has just pulled in front of Jake there. That's a great move from Dan. No assist from any DRS there. He's pulled through that right-hander and has now got an advantage because he's on the straight, and is probably going to try and push as hard as he can to get the win now. Tom Inferno then finally gets past Tech Support, and I'm sure he's going to try and push on to try and get into the podium places now. However, Tech Support is defending quite well. Let's see if he gets any traction out of the corner. He doesn't. He has to dip behind now, and Tom Inferno then claims that 4th position. So the top 5 are all really close together, as Tom now actually gets the fastest lap of the race. However, Tom has still got a couple of drivers in front of him to try and get that win, and I'm sure these guys aren't going to give it to him easy, that's for sure. Dan then is closing up on Sniper slowly, but he needs to get a bit of fresh air from these guys, and he'll be able to pull forward, I'm sure. However, Jake is still right behind Dan there, as well as Tom, who will I'm sure will try and make a move. And he does a massive lunge there. That's it looks like he's missed his braking point there, and he almost let Tech Support get by there actually. Kronos then gets past Andrew after falling down, I think, 6 places after getting pole position. But you never know. We're only on the 3rd lap, and it is a 5-lapper. Anything can happen. He still might be able to claim some really good points here. Dan then not quite under the 1 second mark yet. He's going to want to get under there for DRS, as he does break it now. Let's see if he can get the DRS and pull closer to Sniper. He's going to want to try and get it now so that he's got it for the next couple laps as well. And it looks like we've got a spinner. Yeah, it's Kronos, unfortunately. Luckily, he didn't get stuck, but he's going to struggle to get out of this with his tyres burning up now. Sniper then has done well to pull out away from Dan again. He's actually managed to get out of the 1 second mark, but it's dipping in and out now. So these guys are going to want to try and be really consistent and try and get the DRS. Davis is still within that second as well of Hobgoblin, so Hobgoblin isn't out of this fight yet. He's going to want to try and make sure he defends off of Jake at the same time trying to attack Sniper. With only 1 or 2 laps to go now, they're going to want to try and do this quite quickly. Tom Inferno then, he's kept behind and he's done quite well to get up to where he is after crashing out in qualifying. Although there's only 7 people racing now, they're all very good drivers and they can be really difficult to get by. And with it being the last race of the championship, they're not going to make life easy for anyone, as Jake now is right up behind Dan. And it looks like Dan's doing really well now to try and pull in closer to Sniper. However, Jake is closer to Dan than Dan is to Sniper, so anyone could really get the win here, or even just get a move in general. Tom then still fighting for that podium, but Jake has got that DRS to assist him, so it's not going to be easy for Tom to get by. And luckily, Tech Sport has gotten into the DRS zone of Tom as well, so it's going to be a 5-man train here, and it's going to be all about braking and ERS to see who can get by. So Gary's doing a really good job then to defend, and it looks like he's going to get away with this straight as well. So he's done quite well. He's got a really good exit there, and it looks like he's going to live for another day for this corner. But Dan is still in that DRS zone, so you never know. Although Jake is pushing him by a little bit there. So it looks like Dan is still in the DRS zone. He's going to get DRS in this main straight. Same goes for Jake. Jake has got some really good pace in China, it looks, as we saw in his qualifying lap. But Tom is right up behind Jake here, and he might try and go for a move in the latter stages of this lap. It is the final lap, so he's going to want to get on with it, get on with it. Sorry. Although you can see that Jake's ERS has been drained, and I think Dan has actually got the most ERS out of everyone. As we know, Dan is really good at keeping his ERS. So you never know, that might be a strategy from Dan. He might be leaving it to the last minute and try and let Gary drain his ERS, and then with the ERS that Dan has got, he might try and make a move on him with what he's got left in his tank. Jake then keeping that 3rd place from Tom at the moment. We haven't seen Tom try and go for an actual move yet. As we can see there, he's trained a lot of his energy. And with this track, it's all about the swooping lefts and rights, so it's very difficult to make a stable move unless you're on a really hard braking point, or you're on the back straight with the DRS. So you can see there then, Dan has pulled up to 5/10 behind Sniper now, and as we said, he's used his ERS really smartly here, and he's probably going to try and go for a move here. It's the last chance he's got to try and make a move on Gary, so we'll stay on board and we'll see. You can see there Gary's light is now flashing, meaning he's out of ERS completely, or at least he's depleted most of it, which he is now. And Dan, you can see there he's used his ERS, like I said, and he's got DRS. He's going to have to try and make a lunge here if he's going to want to make it stick, and he's going to go for the outside. He made the decision there. He tried to trick Gary, but he's going to try and make a switchback, probably, which he does. But Gary gets a bit of a snap there, but it looks like Gary is going to try and hold it, and he's going to get the win of the race. Dan then, right behind him, he's got one final chance, but probably not enough for him to get it. And Gary then takes the win in Shanghai. That's a great effort from Gary. Dan takes 2nd place. Jake takes his podium position in 3rd. Tom, the first race he hasn't had a win or a podium, gets 4th. Tech Sport in 5th, and it looked like, I think it was Piercy in 6th. And there we go then. So Dan with the driver of the day award. Great effort from Dan there, after using all the ERS at the last lap and being really strategic with his ERS. He didn't quite manage to get the win, but you could tell what he was trying to do there, and it was a great effort from him. Gary then with his first race of the first win of the championship there. He's done really well there, and he held it really cleanly there. He did a really good job there. So Sniper then gets 1st place, Dan 2nd, Jake 3rd, Tom with his first finish outside of the podium in 4th, Tech Sport in 5th, Piercy in 6th, and unfortunately with a DNF from Kronos in 7th. So the standings then, I will get the top 3 in for an interview. Tom Inferno gets 167 points in the championship and claims the 5-lapper champion trophy, and I'm sure that'll go straight on his bio, and he gets the bragging rights as well. Hobgoblin gets second place, a great effort from him after struggling at the start of the championship, and Sniper, with a brilliant effort with that win at the end, gets him third place. I'm just going to quickly get these guys in for an interview, although we may struggle to hear them, but I'm still going to interview them anyway. Yeah. Hello guys, I know we're having a couple issues with audio, but I'm still going to interview you anyway, and I'll reiterate what you've said to me over the stream. Just quickly, Tom mate, that's your 5-lapper championship. Most importantly, you get the bragging rights and you get to put it in your Instagram bio. Yeah, so how do you feel, mate? I know it was very fast paced, and you looked really clean there. What was it like from your POV, mate? Thank you, mate. And Dan, mate, we saw that you struggled a few times, and I think you had a crash or a DNF in quali, and I know you span in Silverstone, which I felt so sorry for you. But your POV, mate, how did that go? I saw that you're really close to Gary and then the China, but you just missed out. How did that go for you, mate? Awesome, mate. And Gary, mate, you finally got your win after looking really strong at the start of the 5-lappers. What about you, mate? How did that go for you? Awesome. Thank you, guys. So yeah, I'll just reiterate. I know you guys can't hear them, but the main things that have been covered about today is the fact that we've managed to set this up, and I personally will thank Dan for setting it up and making sure we get the drivers and going behind the scenes and making sure all the Discord bits are ready for it. But no, it's great to see that we're able to do things like this, and it's great to see we can get numbers on board. And yeah, it's great to see all the admins working together, and great to see all the guys on the grid getting along, and especially around this time of year as well, where it's really important to spend time with each other. And I know that it's not you're not face to face, but any sort of interaction or anything like that can really help. And I know from personal experience, people have come to me as an admin and have said thank you just for being there. So I think I'd like to thank all the guys in UGL as well. You smashed it, and I'll use this time to quickly say that season 5 starts in January. The final race of season 4, January 7th, where we've got a really close battle between Hobgoblin and Tom Inferno, and the reveal video for season 5 live on YouTube will be January 14th, and today's races will also be uploaded to YouTube tomorrow as well, so that more people can see them. Thank you very much, guys. Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Sniper. Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jamie, for, even though people can't hear you, thank you for being my support. See you later, guys. Thank you very much for watching.